Andy Murray, I'm mindful that I'm your 42nd interview, and you've been asked this question before, but you are down 4 break points. You'd already been 40 in the lead. There must have been a moment when you said, am I blowing this? Is it going to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of that last game, it was just a crazy game to finish the match, and I think after that long waiting for a men's singles winner, it was always going to kind of finish like that. So I was very nervous at the end, but glad I managed to get through it.
Did you allow your...
No, I haven't thought about that when I was on the court. It's not some. I mean, I was in a very good position. I was 2 sets to love up at the time, and still a chance, even if I lost that game, that I could still win the match. So I wasn't thinking about that.
You look at your coach, Ivan Lendl, and he's expressionless. However good you are, you see nothing. However bad you are, you see nothing. What is your relationship with him, and how has he managed to impact on your head?
Well, he helps when I'm on the court, just because he doesn't get too emotional, and that's something that I've tried to work on over the years, is to try and keep my emotions in check. But the best thing about him is that he's honest. He tells me exactly what he thinks. He doesn't keep things from me, and that's why the relationship's worked well.
And if we're going to give them percentages, let me ask you a delicate question. How would you apportion blame for your success to your mother and to Lendl?
I mean, I don't sort of separate my parents in that respect. My mum helped me, obviously, as when I was growing up, she got me into tennis, but both my mum and dad sacrificed a lot to travel with us to tennis. And yeah, it's down to both of them why I've been able to do this, and my brother as well. So they're the main driving force when I was younger, but obviously now to get right to the top, I got that extra experience from Ivan, and he's been a big help.
I'm thinking about the contrast of this inner city court with quite a deprived neighbourhood, and your beginnings, which were not wealthy, but they were well provisioned. And this court hasn't now had any classes on it for 2 years, and I'm wondering whether you feel you can do anything to give others a chance to come forward as you have.
No, well, look, I mean, I obviously try and do my bit when I can, but it's really the federation that it's down to them to make the game more accessible to kids, have more courts.
And you would urge them to do that?
I think it's the only way to help get more kids playing, to make it more accessible. The more kids you have playing, the more chance there is of you getting getting one to come through. You get more talented kids and start. Grand Slam last year was something I wanted to do, and I managed to do it at the US Open. And then, yeah, obviously always wanted to win Wimbledon. It's the biggest tournament in tennis, so I'm proud that I managed to achieve that. And now I'll sit down in a few weeks and reassess my goals and try and come up with some other challenges to motivate myself.
You've won as a Scot, you've won as a Briton. When it comes to thinking about an independent Scotland, are you for it?
I think that's something that takes a lot of thought. I haven't really thought. I can possible, and whatever's best for the country, I'll vote for.
You used to be very Scottish, but now you're perceived to be very British.
Is that the case? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. People said
since I was 11 years old, I've competed all across the world as a British tennis player. Since I went away to America when I was 11, I've competed in all team competitions since 12, 13, 14 years old, all the way through until the seniors. Unfortunately, some people that don't like that, but that's the way it is in tennis. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of being from Scotland, but I've always competed for Great Britain. I've had some of my best results when I've been competing for Great Britain, like in the Olympics last year. I played some of my best tennis. I was very proud to represent my country, and let's just leave it at that.
Could anyone ever do what you have done and not leave the country in order to do it?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. You know, a lot of it comes down to the individual. Not every...
But you ran out of people to play. That was really the problem as a child, wasn't it?
There's never really been many tennis players in Scotland, but you know, I also just preferred the environment over in Spain. I like being away from everyone else, and you know, I got to practice with adults. I was able to, you know, play for 4 or 5 hours a day at a young age, and that's something that is very difficult to get over here. And you know, unless it becomes easier to do that, it's tough to produce players.
I gather you've only slept an hour and a half since we saw you on the court, so I think I ought to let you go. But thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thanks.
Thank you, Andy Murray.
Thank you.